Welcome to another exciting edition of the program. This is Counter Diary. Counter Diary is the only program that is telling the untold stories of Liberia. We tell you the art, the culture, and the tradition of our people in Liberia. On today's edition, we are asking and answering the question, why is the Baptist Church, the Providence Baptist Church, considered to be the cornerstone of the Republic of Liberia? Keep watching. My name is Emmanuel Kotu. We are here and we're going to let you know the Counter Diary, Providence Baptist Church. So let's get out there to let you know. Let me just find my way out. Okay, folks, so you stay watching Counter Diary. We are at the most historic, Providence Baptist Church, the church that served as the foundation of the country. Liberia would say foundation. We're talking about the Declaration of Independence of the country happened right here in this beautiful church here. So let me speak to Reverend Dix, who is the church administrator. He's going to just give us a gist about the church. Reverend, welcome to Counter Diary.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Reverend Dix, it's good to be here. This is historic, and we have the Providence Baptist Church. Can you give us a little bit of synopsis about the church?
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. And let me say welcome to Providence on behalf of the entire leadership. Happy pre-independence as we celebrate our country independence. So, this is the historic Providence Baptist Church, established in Richmond, Virginia, United States of America, in 1821,
wow,
in the home of Hillary Teach, who played a very important role in the formation of the Republic of Liberia. So, like I said, Providence was founded in the United States of America, Richmond, Virginia. Our first pastor was the Reverend Likere, who was born into slavery, purchased his freedom for 850 United States dollars.
Wow, that's a lot of money at the time.
Yes, of course, was on board that first vessel that left the United States and came to Africa. And when they came, they finally landed at the Providence Island. I stand corrected. I think the island name was Donzo.
Donzo, yeah.
So you can do...
At the Two River.
Okay. But later on, they moved to this place, which was just about forest. And they started between 1821 and 1825. They constructed this building. This is the original building from 1821 to 2022. This is the original building. We still worship in this building. Providence is known as the cornerstone of the nation because it is that Liberia was built. It is in this building that the first African republic was born. So it's difficult to separate Providence Baptist Church from the Republic of Liberia. You cannot talk about the history of Liberia without talking about the Providence Baptist Church.
So somebody would say that being the cornerstone of Liberia, all of those who signed the declaration, the 11 men, were they all Baptists?
No, I don't think so. Of course, we know that they came from 3 different counties at that time, but I cannot say they were all Baptists.
So looking at this church as a historical area for all of the younger generation, some are saying that we don't teach our history. And so most people don't come up here to actually know the history of this country. What is your message to some other Liberians who are out there watching this video, that are out of the country, that want to talk about the history of our country, Liberia?
Okay, Emmanuel, good. Let me say that in the past 5 years, the Ministry of Education, along with Providence have entered a partnership. So what we call Memorial Day or Decoration Day, every year the Ministry of Education will hold a service at Providence.
Okay.
After that service, we will bring the students in this sanctuary, all right, and we will explain part of the history to them, the relationship between the church and the state. So as a church, we are helping to, teach young people the history. We have most schools now coming to Providence, to this church, to learn the history. Whenever they do historical tour, they come to Providence Baptist Church. They learn the history, not just of the church, but the relationship between the church and the state.
All right, so before we take a look at you, can we just show, we can take a walk in the building.
You're welcome.
And show you. So we are entering the historic Providence Baptist Church. It's bigger than, what you think. The size may be small, but what it did for Liberia is a history. So we are currently in the building, the church building, and so what is the capacity of the church in terms of congregation at the time?
Well, at the time they were like 100, and as soon as they started to increase in number, they started constructing a bigger building that is behind us, but that is not the history. This is the history right here. So roughly this building can take like 250, people. But it is also important to note that when this sanctuary was constructed, they also put a bell tower up there.
Okay.
And that bell tower served 3 purposes.
What are those?
Whenever there was trouble in the nation, they would ring the bell. Whenever there was a major death in the nation, they would tune the bell. And of course, they rang the bell for people to come to worship service. So the bell is stay up there. Today we only ring the bell on the 31st of December.
Why?
The closing of the old year, ushering into a new year. But the bell was very, very important.
But why did we transform to that? Not ringing it every time, like you say,
Well, sometimes people do away with traditions, but we just stopped doing it. Maybe that's something we will consider. But also, Emmanuel, part of this, the history of this place, and especially for some of our older members, not just from the Baptist denomination, but other churches. This is the place. During the administration of President Charles D.B. King, when the Germans decided to destroy Liberia, the president and his entire cabinet came into this sanctuary to fast and pray. And when they got through fasting and praying, and hear me well, the captain on board that vessel was dead.
Wow. On a German vessel
Yes,
that was heading to destroy Liberia.
I'm not saying God killed the captain, but the captain was dead, and that's how they left Liberia waters. So this place is very, very important for us.
So in this 21st century, we still come up here to worship. Yes. And do we have exceptional, services here? Because, like for instance, we have a few days to the July 26th. Talking about national prayer, do we still have that, happening in the Baptist church here?
Yes, we do. Okay, so let's go back. When the Ebola came, of course, during that time, people were prohibited from gathering in large numbers. So the Liberia Council of Churches organized a small prayer service every Friday, a small group of people. And the late Bishop Adolphus Dewing was asked to head that prayer section. Of course, for some reason, some people never wanted to come here. And I remember Bishop Dewey, saying to the rest of the team, if we don't come into this place, I will not be the head. Why? Because whenever the nation was in trouble those days, this is where they came. And so during that time, every Friday, our former president, President Salif, whose mother was a Presbyterian elder, knowing the power of prayer, President Salif and some of her cabinet ministers came into this place every Friday. And we fasted and prayed. We sought the face of God. And you know what the Center for Disease was saying, how many people would die daily or monthly or weekly. And we saw the decline in the death rate. And so it was in this place. We stay hold services in this place. This place cannot hold a lot of people, but national prayer, sometimes people gather in here to fast and pray for the nation. So it's still useful. A lot of things still taking place in this sanctuary.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dix. It was just abrupt notice. We didn't even tell you that we're coming here, so we just came to get a history of this show because we are in the Bicentennial Celebration month or year, and we are still celebrating. We have a few days to the July 26th. Most people don't know about the history of our country, so when you're watching us on TV and you listen to us on the radio, you get a clear understanding why we say the Baptist Church, Providence Baptist, is a cornerstone. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching this edition of the program, Counter Diary. It's been a very important one today for the program, the Counter Diary. And I'm going to say this to you, when we say the Baptist Church is the cornerstone of the Republic of Liberia, you just heard from Reverend Dix. And then, we're going to be going around to show you more of what Liberia is made of. On Counter Diary, we are telling the untold stories of Liberia. My name is Emmanuel Kotu, and this program is proudly produced and directed by J. Melvin Modem. God's willing, we'll see you in another area, in different parts of Liberia to be precise, for the Counter Diary.